been a lot offered on this mic. And we don't mind giving it, but it is so much of a gift if you give something too. You know, the last time I was at Twisted Olive, Christopher Williams brought his monkey ass up here. And I just have to say this because I'm on this stage and he was on this stage last time I was here. If I see him again, I'm going to snipe that ass. He was supposed to, am I lying, Tosh? He was supposed to perform at 10 p.m. Some of y'all, if you're like 26 or younger, you don't even know who I'm talking about. Right. That's how obscure he is, okay? New Jack City, don't wake me, I'm dreaming. That's that dude. Yeah, so he was supposed to perform at 10, and we were here at 10, and he didn't go on until 11:30. You got to be Rakim to make me wait an hour and a half. And then he got up here and how long was it? 20 minutes. He performed for 20 minutes, 3 of which were his own songs and 1 Teddy Pendergrass song. Oh yeah, I'm writing a hate letter. This has nothing to do with my poem, but I just was reminded of the fact that he was up here. Okay. Get up. So this piece I wrote in honor of MLK Day and in honor of the man. But I need to say to you that I don't have romantic conversations with history, and particularly the civil rights movement. Okay, like I don't romanticize that part of our history at all. And when I think about Martin in the same way that I think about Malcolm, and in the same way that I think about Medgar, there's nothing romantic about what happened to them, right, or even poetic about what happened to them. Right. So this poem is for Martin, but more importantly, it's for Coretta.
Lord, it's so hard living this life. A constant struggle each and every day. Many have tried, but cannot find the truth, 'cause no one seems to really know.
My mama said there was nothing poetic about Martin Luther King being shot in the neck. No metaphor can capture the sting the community felt when yet another assassination tore at the resolve of folk who lived in their heads and created storylines about someday and one day. A bullet has the incredible capacity to punctuate a movement and stymie a warrior into silence. I don't think about that day. Not even when my children come marching with images of the man embellished in Crayola and the kind of exuberance that only youthfulness and naivete can sustain. They want to tell me about the dream he had and the evil in the world that snatched it. They run it all down for me, wide-eyed and mortified at how helpless they feel in these conversations with history, where great men who dared to jut out were struck down, and the gross improprieties of it all, and the incredible immorality of it all, and the needlessness and senselessness of it all. Can't believe how damn ungodly we were. They need me to do something about it. Wrestle the past down into cliff notes and to fix the ending, and they all lived happily ever after to it. But I don't think about that day, the way the weather knew a king was about to be shot and dragged rain clouds over the heads of the believers and left the Lorraine Hotel staff scratching their heads at the peculiarity of it. I don't think about the man who steadied his hand, shouldered his rifle, and put Martin in his scope. The man who woke up that morning, ate his eggs, drank his coffee with a mission statement curdling in his veins. The man who knew he would take a life that day, a big life, a bigger than can be believed life, because all life is bigger than can be believed. How he must have showered in silence, feeling mythical and intentional, and whoever loved him kissed his cheek or said some casual, not at all epic thing like, don't forget to pick up some milk from the store on your way in, and how he nodded and knew he would obligate history into remembering him, and how calculating he was and how certain he was, steeped in his own vast set of politics and platforms. He set his jaw against the hubris of history and squeezed. I don't think about that day, not that one or the one that preceded it, when Coretta must have felt something catching her back that heavied her steps and pulled her lip down, must have gazed as she did every morning at the man she married and been struck dumb by how unlucky they were to be taught talking out loud about freedom, and the dizzying response they got when folks started believing them, and the women who hung their hopes they had for an entire generation on the sermons of a man she fell in love with because he made her laugh, not the tattered Bible earmarked and reread under his arm, or the seismic impact of the words he spoke, or the swell of people who gathered themselves outside churches and on corners to hear him talk of parables and possibilities, but because he made her laugh, a deep and rolling laugh that moved her to girlishness and wet her mouth in smiles. I don't think about that day or the one after it when his wife had locusts in her belly and she could see neither promised land nor mountaintop around her children's wailing, their small hands pulling at her skirts and needing her to fix it, to tell yesterday that it made a mistake, that daddies were supposed to be forever, that however inevitable the newsreels attempted to write it, bleeding out and leaving was never an option, and the gnashing of baby teeth and the thundercrack of a nation's grief, when all she wanted was to remember what laughing felt like when Martin made her do it, and what dreaming felt like when Martin made her do it, and what hope felt like and faith felt like in the moments when tomorrow was complete with metaphor and parable and possibility, and she still believed that she could attach, and they all lived happily ever after at the end. Peace.